Hello, flower friends. This is Jen, and we are going to talk all things styled shoots today. I actually had a styled shoot today that I came up with the inspiration, the idea, and I kind of took it from the beginning to the end. But that is not always how you can become involved in a styled shoot. So I wanted to walk through some different scenarios because some of the girls in the Floral CEO mastermind have been approached about styled shoots recently and have been considering or have participated, and some of them have been published, and so it's really exciting to do something new and really expand yourself. But let's talk about the different ways that you can become involved in a styled shoot. So the first thing is, like, you come up with the creative direction, the idea, the kind of the concept behind it, and then you take it and run with it. That is definitely what I do normally at this point in my career because I want to have that creative control. I want to really take an idea. I don't want another creative head kind of butting against me. And I'm often doing that because I want to design weddings as well. I want to take it to a level that, I'm influencing the linens, and because with nice linens, usually have a nicer budget, usually have a nicer result, and usually nicer pictures for your portfolio. So I try to intercede myself in the design conversation because I know that it inevitably will help me attract higher end clients. So that is one way. You get people on board, you put a mood board together, you kind of formulate all the details. So with this particular style shoot, to come up with ideas is sometimes tricky because you're just like, where do I even start? And I often am a total Instagram whore with saving concepts of things that I just really like or really drawn to, um, just I'm really in love with. And with that, I'm saving them, I'm screenshotting them. A lot of times I'll like screenshot it and then, of course, take the Instagram like kind of rim off of it and then save it in a folder for inspiration. I then will, have this kind of bank of those type of photos that whenever even I'm meeting with a client, sometimes I'll just go through my Instagram or my photo inspiration because I also save photos out of Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time in Facebook because it is such a negative environment that I try to just mitigate that. But I'll go in and I'll look for ideas, I'll look for fun, I'll look for, things that are inspiring, and I save them. Have that folder. Then, next step is really figuring out the concept behind what is the real end goal of what you want this to do. And today, I came up with the idea of doing an artfully wired, kind of passion flower Sue inspired, but with a twist. I wanted to have something that we could submit to Minnesota Bride. The submission date is coming up soon, and so I wanted to get something done soon. And I wanted to have something that would be really fun, different, like didn't looked more editorial. So like the word that it was in my head was editorial and very high end. I actually, when I was networking, I found I went to it was like a vendor dinner a while back. And when I went there, like I'd known this photographer, I'd actually worked with this photographer before, but like I've been seeing her more on Instagram and she'd been posting more personal content, and I just felt a little bit more connected with her because she Looked like she was really working on goals, her fitness, her health, her motherhood, just all these things were kind of attracting. So I literally reached out to her because we had an impromptu photo shoot in her studio that got published. It was a cake photo shoot that a local cake artist was participating in a Minnesota Bride event, and I was doing the flowers for the event. And afterwards, like, I had all these flowers, and she was like, "You know what? The day after the event, would you wanna do a photo shoot? I have this concept," and I'm like, "Sure." And so that's how I met her, so I knew what her studio looks like, and I was like, "That would be a great, with the lighting in there and everything, to have an editorial-esque type shoot." And it already got published once, so, like, her photography is good, and the concept I thought was good. So then I wanted to develop the colors, and I went on local linen sites. So we have 3 linen companies that rent chargers and glassware and the flatware and the linen and chairs if you need it and everything. So I went in and I started just scoping out, like, colors, and looked at the couple different one is a little bit closer to me, a little bit easier to pick up and has more variety. And then I randomly was in Trader Joe's and I saw these orchids. And these orchids were these like speckled orchids. They're Phalaenopsis orchids. They were green with a speckle on them. Absolutely stunning. I love them. And so I went and was like, "Yep, I like that's it." I just came up with the concept then and I was like, "That's it. I love it." So I bought one, took a photo of it, shared it with her. I was like, "This is the inspo. Like, I wanna design it around here." Went on their site, found a linen that totally matched the vibe, and then it started just developing more of a concept. So, I had a previous model from a workshop. I reached out to her and I was like, "Would you be interested in doing this kind of editorial?" She looks like a Disney princess, just beautiful. I was like, "I would love to have you involved because I just think you have a look that would be and this would be really good for your portfolio as a model." And she was like, "Game on, awesome." And then from there, I went over to the linen company and I wanted to scope out a linen that I liked in person. And I wanted to see what flatware matched with it, what plates and everything. And that is an investment. Not all rental companies will donate to styled shoots, but some of them will. So you always should ask if you are planning something like this, if you have a planner involved, which the planner route I will explain next, and that is the easiest route because they have connections often with a rental company. So I went in there, I scoped it out, I took pictures. I always take pictures and I take pictures of the names so that I can place my final order and I have all the correct names. Then from there, I put a mood board together. I put a mood board together of the concepts that I wanted. And then I came up with the idea of like, I really wanted some hanging chandeliers that were really kind of funky and fun and had the wire component to them, but were different. Weren't like a regular pendant, like more of a living, like flower kind of coated pendant hanging from the ceiling. And so then I started thinking through that process, like how am I going to figure that out? I went and looked at plant covers. I was thinking that there might be some type of chicken wire plant cover that you pop over to stop rabbits or deer or whatever from eating it. And I thought maybe I could mold it or bend it or something, but I found a really beautiful shaped set of 5, and I only wanted 2 of them because I wanted to have them, different suspended at different heights to create visual interest. And then I just developed it from there. I, bought more of the orchids. I kinda developed the whole concept, completely, and then looped in a cake person, and I said, "I wanna do an artfully wired armature on a cake. Would you be interested?" And went back and forth, and, like, that came together, and so I brought one of my, uh, little pedestals for her to put a cake on, and I made a wire armature. So I put all these details together and kind of mapped out with the photographer what I wanted. I went and picked up the linen. So because this was like from the ground up, I mean, she didn't even have a table. And if you guys haven't heard, we are in the process of buying a farm. And I knew I was going to need a round table anyways because I'm planning in our historic dairy barn to have events. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy a table. And ordered the table on Amazon of all things. It was the most interesting Amazon delivery that I think I've ever have received. And I had to pick up the linens. She didn't have chairs, so I picked out some crossback chairs. I think that whole, endeavor was about $250 for all the rentals, for the table settings and the chairs and the linen and all of those items. And then I invested obviously in the flowers because I came up with the concept and I came up with the whole wanting to do it. I asked the photographer to participate in the rentals, but I covered everything else because this was something I wanted to do. I always buy everybody who's involved a little gift as well, just to say thank you for supporting me, supporting my vision, supporting my work. And so I went to Bed Bath and Beyond and bought some cute little gift packs. And so I kept it pretty simple and pretty low key, but it turned out beautiful. And I'm super excited for the photos and super excited to get it submitted to Minnesota Bride. But that's one way. You like being the creative director. So I'm going to say in the, caption or the credit that I design floral and design was done by me. So that was one way to do a styled shoot. The next one is having someone, a vendor friend, ask you to do a shoot. And so depending on where you're at in your career is the level of question I would really take into participating. First thing, I've done a styled shoot that in retrospect, I didn't like the photographer's style. I wanted to support it because it was when um, Minnesota first legalized gay marriage. It was a LGBTQAI shoot, and I was totally into that. I totally support that. And I wanted to be on board, but like I've rarely posted the photos from that because they are a dark and moody photographer, sepia kind of filters on there, and that is not my jam. I love light and airy photography, and I should have thought a little bit harder on that because it is just not my favorite. It's not my favorite, and you live and learn, I guess. But I I think that shoot, I had them participate in the flower costs. So people who participate in that shoot, somebody reached out to me, said, "Hey, we're doing this shoot. Would you want to participate?" I said, "Yes. I am more than willing to donate my time, but I would love because the flowers do have hard costs to them. I would love to have some participation in the flower costs." And so often you'll get a photographer, a wedding planner, people involved in the shoot to chip in a amount towards those flowers. That is because I have done this for a while. I often see newer florists, and I get this, go and, buy all the flowers. And that sometimes is worth it because getting the photos and making your portfolio look better is going to attract you higher end weddings. We have a local florist that literally has done like 25 in a year. It's crazy. I'm like, how are you affording that? Because inevitably she's like, I have a budget for it. And I'm like, oh my God, you are making your end of year net profit pittance because it's like you're eating up a ton of capital doing style shoots. If you are, doing it to really gain momentum, which it definitely has given that florist momentum, uh, like you can do it in moderation. Moderation still works. So if you do have a vendor friend, that's one of the first questions I ask. Is there potentially a budget for floral? Because there is such a high cost to, it's a perishable product. I have done 3 styled shoots with silk flowers, which that's great because I already have them, and that's amazing then, but that is not always the case. So I, ask right away upfront, "Do you have a budget for floral?" And if they're like, "Yeah, I don't know, we're looking for donations." Well, I'm more than happy to donate my time, but there's a significant hard cost that to a perishable product. And, flowers really set the stage for the styled shoot, and so I'd be more than happy to participate if there is a floral budget that we could discuss. And if they're like, "What would that be?" Well, if you guys even wanna chip in, like, $400, $500, something like that. If they're looking for some really elaborate shit, you need to tell them that they need to have a higher premium floral budget for this. I always go into it clearly laying out what I will participate in. I got blindsided by a new venue. All of a sudden, I got looped in from a planner, and here we go. We are making 3 different color tablescapes. Ugh. And I'm like, so I'm buying 3 different color sets of flowers. And I'm like, this is not financially awesome by any means. And I'm just like, I don't understand. And I didn't clearly lay out in the beginning though that this is what I will do. And so I did ask them to adjust their floral budget because we are adding complication, adding so much that it just was ridiculous. So from there, I learned you just need to lay out, okay, I'll do a bridal bouquet, a boutonniere, cake floral, centerpiece or a long table, ceremony, whatever it is. Like lay that out from the get-go because you do not want to be surprised. Surprises are not super fun. And so if you don't need to be surprised, don't. Like avoid surprise. So lay out the parameters. If it is not something that you are inspired by, do not do it. You will be, for one, like creatively going backwards because I think that shoots or things that you do that don't speak to you, like suck the life out of you a little bit. So I only will do something, a wedding or anything, if there's some part of fun. If there is some part of fun that I feel like I can have, I will entertain it. If it is not, no thank you. I don't want to. I just like it's not it's not worth the energy expenditure for me to make shitty things. And that might sound crass, but like I have a finite amount of time, resources, and energy, and I don't want to make things that aren't inspiring to me. It just doesn't sound like a good time, if that makes sense. So, like, I'm not going to do it. Simple as that. And like, I just lay that out. Like, I would love to see the mood board. So, if I'm getting asked, along with the budget question, I need to see a mood board. Do you have a mood board you can share with me so I can understand the creative direction? And if they're like, "Oh, we don't have one," are you looking for input on creative direction? Because that's something I am interested in. If I can help creatively drive a shoot to make it better, game on. Love that idea. Like, if you need help with that, I'm your gal. I've had people like, "We can loop in this person," and it's like, "No, we don't need to loop. We don't there's no looping needed." Like, I am confident that I can design an event. I mean, I, at this point, have designed 8 workshops. I have designed 3 styled shoots. I'm like I mean, those are just separate styled shoots. Like, I've had styled shoots within my workshops that I've creatively designed that. So, like, I feel confident in executing that, and I just need to get up to bat for it. to show people that I can do this. And I am I think one thing that helps with that is that I try to be an idea factory. I try to come up with like just saving ideas. My friend Nora and I, who have an amazing workshop coming up. If you have not checked it out, it is a cultural wedding rock star. If you want to add serious impact, I mean, I one year I re-looked because I was like, how much have I made from cultural weddings? It was like $185,000 one year. One year. Like, that is impactful. And so this workshop is 2 days that we were teaching you all of this. But one reason Nora and I work is, like, we have the same brain in so many ways. We will send each other photos, videos from Instagram, basically creating a creative bank of ideas for both of us. And we also start processing those ideas, and we're gonna talk about this in the workshop. We're gonna talk about designing a event and coming up with a backdrop, coming up with a ceremony feature for a Hindu wedding that is impactful, and how to pull all those designs to execution, including structures. So it is April 15th and 16th. If you head to thefloralhustle.com/rockstar, you can check that workshop out. It is going to be amazing. We are going to talk about foam free design and traditional foam design. So, whatever you are needing to do, it'll be in that workshop. And you're going to learn about cultures. That was probably one of the biggest learning curves. Understanding what a Mendi, a Sangeet, a like Barat, like all of these names, like I was so clueless and I learned so much from Nor, and it's that all of that knowledge from Nor is going to be shared at this workshop. So check it out. It's going to be epic. And for the cost of that workshop, I have seen in my day 2 other workshops that were culturally focused, and they were 3 times the price. So it is a great value as well. But that works between her and I because often she'll be like, "Oh my god, I saved this and I was going to send it to you." And so that idea bank, I'll be able to talk to her and say, "Do you remember on Instagram when I sent you this?" And I'll explain the picture. And she's like, "Yes, I remember that exact thing." So starting to save those ideas not only helps you in a styled shoot situation, it can help you just like come up with concepts that are next level for your clients. And then that's when you start being able to make serious money because you're coming up with next level designs. Next level, like another florist isn't serving up ideas like this. I am an idea center. I have, especially with like the venue I work with all the time. We were just talking about, she's like, "Oh, I was thinking we should do something for Valentine's Day for open doors." They do an open house every month. It's like a little one, and then we do our big one, which is going to be our installation rockstar intensive. Which that's a whole nother thing. Make an open house after your styled shoot as a preferred vendor. Like, I do that every single month, you guys, every month with my preferred venue here in Minneapolis. And I have booked so many clients at this venue. But do a styled shoot. Say, "Hey, why don't you turn this styled shoot into an open house that evening so you can showcase all these beautiful flowers and get people in that can get inspired." Another great way. I often do open houses after styled shoots because it's just the perfect storm of, you being able to get out there and then the venue getting more bang for their buck for participating because they're able to show off these amazing flowers and designs and linens and all these things. So, but they just came up with a little idea like, "Hey, we want to do something for Valentine's." I was like, "Okay, great. I have the exact idea." I went into my little creative bank and I remembered a photo. It was like regular limelight and vintage kind of hydrangeas that were like it was on a mantle, and then it had these beautiful bows that were, and bows are kind of hot right now, satin bows lining the bottom of it. And I said, like, I found the picture and I sent it to her. I said, "What if we did this on a sweetheart table?" but we switched it to really dark velvety reds. And then we did a really fun backdrop that had some bows on it because we have a backdrop friend. And then I'll have bows tied on like roses and bud vases. So I also kept it affordable because we're using bud vases with bows on roses. So I just, because I kept that idea bank is full. Then I was able to come up with, and then they had an amazing open house that evening and had, I think I had like 2 inquiries afterwards. So it's plus great photos, great video. I'm really trying hard to capture video because a lot of times I'm just like, I'm so tired. I just want to get out of here to the, but like I've been really meticulous about creating opportunity for short form video because that seems to do really well and show off my work well. So you can use this opportunity of a styled shoot to get that short form content to do. I took probably 50 to 8-second videos today, and I'm gonna go through and edit them and look through them, and then I put them in a short form video, little folder in my phone. And so anytime I find a trending song, I can just use that really easily. And so that's another, if you're not getting weddings, this is a great idea for you to get content. You can go in and take 5 to 7 second videos of every single thing that you make for this styled shoot. If you do cake flowers, if you do a bouquet, if you do a boutonniere, if you do whatever you do, and you can do it in different spots at the venue. You can do it with the model, with you holding it, like different scenarios. So it's a great way for you to get additional content, kind of filling your content bank. Then from there, really understanding what your expectations are going in. So I've gone in, I've asked creative direction, is that figured out? I need to see a mood board if it is. I also need to understand floral budget. And then I need to understand like the commitment. Like, am I going to be there the whole day? Am I setting up? If I'm doing the creative direction and I'm kind of driving the shoot and I know that I want special shots, I'm going to be there the whole day. Uh, if it's turning into an open house, if, I need to stay around or if I can come back the next day to tear down. Like those different details I've kind of working out. Then I want to know what other vendors are on board. I obviously the photographer is important like I mentioned before. I did a whole shoot, did all out like rainbow tables, rainbow backdrop for the ceremony, rainbow epic cake meadow. It was amazing, but I don't post any of those photos because I don't like the photography style. Then from there, I wanna know is, like, what cake person is involved, what makeup artist, because I'm also using this as a networking opportunity. I want to get in front of people who want to work with me or I want to work with and support them. And so I go into that conversation, really, being cognizant that there could be opportunity there. If I have a photographer that I have a really good relationship with that says that she's looped in a planner that I would love to work with, I sure as shit am going to be more apt to be like, yes, I will absolutely do this because I want to show that planner what I can do. And you want to show planners, makeup artists, anybody that you are the go to floral person. You are the right choice. And when you do that, like you're just solidifying deeper and deeper that you are that right choice. So then there are other ways to, that's kind of laying out being asked. And I've laid out you asking or you kind of driving. The third way is kind of a hybrid. You come up with a concept, but you go get a planner on board to help you. And I often like to have a planner on board if it is a bigger styled shoot because they are going to worry about the details more. At the next Installation Rockstar workshop, which is next week, I literally am doing a oval table, like the big serpentine with the hole in the middle. And I have no idea how to drape that, how to cover that with a linen, no clue, and honestly, don't wanna fucking figure that out right now. Like, that is not on my to-do list. A lot of other things are, that is not one of them. So I go in and I'm like, "Hey, would you be interested? Here is our" I'm giving her the mood board because I've already designed it. "Here's the mood board. I would love to have you on board. This is one of the things that I would need your help with." And then I'm also like, "I also need your help with picking up the linens, picking up the table, because they don't have a serpentine table at this venue. I need help with, setting all that crap up, and I need help with, returning them." So, like, I will help drive a lot of the shoot, but I need your help with this. Or, "Hey, I would love to have you involved in this if you're interested, and if you could they could help you find other vendors because they know lots of other vendors, potentially help you develop a concept or just ask them like if there's something that's inspiring." I always ask someone involved in a shoot, "Is there something you've been dying to do or that would seem really fun for you?" Who is not going to want to do a shoot with somebody that's asking them to have fun? And I do that with my cake, especially with cake people, with photographers. Like, I ask them, like, what would be something that would make this really fun for you? And my cake person for my next week workshop said, "A hanging cake." And I'm like, shit. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're some gentlemen out there, I figured out how to do hanging cake. I found a hanging cake stand and it is going to be epic. So excited, and it's going to have a orange slice installation behind it. So it's going to be super fun. But, like, try to make this fun for others because that's gonna make people want to come back and work with you, and you want people who are just, like, so excited, like, the energy. Like, you guys listen to this because I am passionate, I have energy, I have drive, I have, like, so much I freaking love what I do. That energy comes out. You want to have that energy coming into a styled shoot. That shows everybody, "Game on, bitches. I'm the person you wanna work with. I am the right choice for your referrals." And you're getting a great portfolio out of it. You're getting an experience. You're getting opportunity. And if you can turn it into a next level opportunity by making it an open house, even better. So, if you are struggling with, like, "This seems crazy," and are looking for support in driving your business forward, like, I have been so in love. I'm always in love with the Floral CEO Mastermind girls, but I've just been more in love with them. We have a couple new girls in there, and they just are sassy as hell. I just love the chatter that is in our Voxer chat group with people just sharing their wins, sharing their victories, sharing, like, so many things, and I would just I'm inviting you in. It is the Floral CEO Mastermind. You go to thefloralhustle.com/mastermind to check it out or comment mastermind on anything of mine on Instagram to get more details. It is I mean, it's weird to be able to say, but I've changed people's lives in this group. It has changed people's confidence. It has given them so many skills. I'm in your back pocket. Just last night, somebody's like, "How do you do this cake?" And it was like this cake that was surrounded by flowers. And I literally have this video tool that I took that cake inspiration picture and I walked out exactly how I would do it in a video at like 11:30 at night. I sent it to them for them to check it out, and like, I have wet hair, but I just like mapped out this is exactly how I would price this out. So like, I'm helping you figure out your recipes. I'm helping you with your proposals, like, and I'm making it a learning experience for everybody because if I just do it for you, it's not helpful. I want everybody to learn from each other's experiences. That's what enriches everybody in this group. And these ladies are so amazing. There's a bunch here from Minnesota, but we have California, Connecticut, like Alabama, wherever you're at, there is a place for you, and I would love to Send me a DM in Instagram if you're just like, I don't know if this is right for me, and I'm happy to hop on a 15-minute discovery call with you to see if you're a right fit. But if you love flowers and you want to learn and you want to make more money, this is the place for you. So, thank you so much for listening, flower friend. I am so excited for you to venture out and step into your floral CEO self in doing a styled shoot. Have a great day.